day's a day, a bad luck's always a coming my way.
For today's Grimm adventure, we're visiting a town known as San Jose, New Mexico, for some more natural born killers filming location sites. Something that I get really excited about because it's one of my all-time favorite movies. But sadly, every time we do one of these videos, it doesn't really do that well. So I don't know if people are excited about it as I am, but you should be, because these locations are really, really hard to find. On the other side of this underpass is a town that I swear to you looks like it's something that almost got forgotten by time, if that makes any sense. And we drove through just to get an idea of what we're going to be filming. And I can tell you right now, I know exactly why Oliver Stone chose to film at least part of Natural Born Killers in the town of San Jose, New Mexico. I don't know if you can hear it, let alone see it, but where I just walked through, there's a whole bunch of birds flying, going crazy. I don't like birds. I really don't. Can you see them? Look at those things. What on earth are they? Winged devils?
I've been waiting night and day.
Would you look at that church? It took me forever to find it, but I did, here in San Jose, New Mexico, and it is beautiful. Now, in the movie Natural Born Killers, after Mickey and Mallory get married, we're introduced to the TV show American Maniacs, hosted by Wayne Gale, who's played by Robert Downey Jr. And he walks right down those steps towards right where I'm standing.
After that, there was just no stopping Mickey and Mallory. They tore up the countryside with their vengeance right out of the Bible.
For the most part, this church really hasn't changed since they filmed Natural Born Killers here. The roof above the front door, that's a little bit different. But everything still looks the same, including the rain spouts or runoff that you can see. There's that one on the left-hand side of the steps. Then over here to the right-hand side, you can see the three little squares. You can see those in this scene as well. Man, that's cool. The scene that they shot in front of this church was real quick. You actually don't see it that long in the movie. But truth be told, I wish they would have showed a lot more of it because it's beautiful. There's a closer shot of the three statues in the churchyard. Pretty freaking wild. After the American Maniacs opening, you see Robert Downey Jr. standing in front of a sign that says Route 666.
Tonight, I'm standing on Highway 666, running through towns like Cortez, Shiprock, Sheep Springs, and ending in Gallup, New Mexico.
Now that sign, well, what's left of it is down in Gallup, New Mexico. We're gonna make our way down there in just a little bit. But he's talking about following the blood trail of Mickey and Mallory Knox through New Mexico. He mentions Gallup and another place known as Shiprock.
To some, a beautiful stretch of the American landscape. But to Mickey and Mallory Knox, who are still at large, it is literally a candy lane of murder and mayhem.
Which is another place we're going to be headed. Now what you're looking at right now is Highway 491, and right below it, it says former 666. Now in the movie Natural Born Killers, it happens really quick. As Robert Downey Jr. is talking, and for the TV show, you see the camera pan from the 666 sign over to him on the highway. And as far as we know, this is the only sign that still exists on the road.
Tonight, I'm standing on Highway 666, running through towns like Cortez, Shiprock, Sheep Springs, and ending in Gallup, New Mexico.
Now, how cool is that? The sticker that we put up there the last time we were here is still here. I had to jump a little bit to get up there. The last time we were out here on the Devil's Highway, we posted about it on social media, and since then, so many people have come out here for photos and tagged us in them saying, look, your sticker is still here on the Devil's Highway. As you can see, it is on a busy road. Makes you wonder how many people drive it every single day and not realize that this is the former 666. And our sticker's there. I think that's just as cool.
Patrolman Gerald Nash was just the first of 12 peace officers that Mickey and Mallory murdered during their reign of terror. Gerald and his partner were parked at this donut shop, Alfie's Donuts, when...
Hey, you!
Driver, ask him a question.
How the hell do you get to Farm?
And Farmington's up about 65 miles. You folks going there?
Then up come that shotgun.
Right now we're on the corner of 2nd Street in Colorado in Winslow, Arizona. For something I didn't even think existed, but it's here. Now we rolled into town on a hunch. All I had was an intersection and I had no clue if the building was still gonna be here or not. Basically, this is the candy lane of murder and mayhem that Wayne Gale was talking about at the opening of American Maniacs, talking about the killing spree of Mickey and Mallory Knox. Now this building that's across the street, right there, this was Alfie's Donuts. It's a lot smaller. I thought it was gonna be a bigger building, but it's a small building.
I've been waiting night and day.
Now, like I said, this building is a lot smaller than I imagined it would be. There's a giant donut up on the right-hand side on the roof. But this is it. Everything matches up perfectly. Alfie's Donuts from Natural Born Killers. Now, if you are familiar with our videos, then you know that Jessica likes to reenact certain scenes. Now, in this shot, you can actually see a fire hydrant as patrolman Gerald Nash is laying here, shot by Mickey with a shotgun. The first of 12 patrolmen that he has killed. They never show the inside of the donut shop, but this is what it looks like. I love that this is still standing. Now, if you look very closely at the flake paint, you can actually see letters still on the building. Most noticeably, right over here, you can still see an apostrophe S. Do you see it? How about now? Now, like I said, we had absolutely no idea that this building still stands. We came to Winslow, Arizona, knowing the cross streets. That's all I can find online. But as far as I know, we're the first people to actually document that this building still exists. How crazy is that?
What do you think of Mickey and Mallory, huh?
Hot. They're hot.
Love Mickey and the Mallory.
Mickey and Mallory are the best thing to happen to mass murder since Manson.
Morrison, Jack Nicholson, you got Mickey and Mallory.
Don't get us wrong,
Yeah, you know, we respect human life and all.
but if I was a mass murderer, I'd be Mickey and Mallory.
I've been waiting night and day. I didn't see the time. I waited half my life away.
After the news frenzy, we get Mickey and Mallory Knox driving down a street in a black and white footage. Now, the street that they're driving down is here in Gallup, New Mexico. It's Route 66. The historic Route 66. And we know this because there's a few different things that we can point out that you can see as they're driving in this copless town.
I haven't seen a cop for 10 minutes. Is there such thing as a copless town?
That'd be paradise, wouldn't it?
Now, this scene happens so quick that if you blink, you might actually miss it. But Mickey and Mallory Knox drive right past Richardson Trading Company, this building right here. For the most part, the signs still look the same, including where it says Navajo Wholesale. That's pretty wild.
See the time I waited half my life away. There were lots of
Even the awning of the kitchen's opera house looks identical.
believe you sent me some, but I was waiting for the mirror.
The way they were driving, they would have been heading right down this way through the town of Gallup. Sadly, a lot of natural-born killer sites here on Route 66 in Gallup, New Mexico have been torn down. But this place right here, the Hotel El Rancho, the charm of yesterday with the convenience of tomorrow, can be seen I'm talking very quickly in the movie. Right here. This whole sequence of events pretty much takes place, like I said, right here on Route 66, straight through the heart of Gallup, New Mexico. And most of it you really can't see. There's a chevron, which I do believe has been torn down. We've been looking for it. And there's also Church's Fried Chicken. When they're actually driving down the street, he says, "Hey, let's pick up a hostage." And he says, "What about her?" And whenever he points over to the girl walking down the street, that particular scene takes place right in front of a Church's Fried Chicken. I can't find that here either. So either that's been torn down or it's in a completely different place. But since they pretty much filmed that entire scene on this road, it has to be torn down. Right now I'm on the outskirts of Gallup, New Mexico, and behind me you can see this open lot. There used to be something that stood here that has been demolished. It's long gone, and it hurts me to the core.
Baby, I've been waiting night and day. I didn't see the time I waited half my life away.
Now, Route 66 is filled with all kinds of interesting motels and hotels. Here on this vacant lot used to stand a piece of property known as the Log Cabin Lodge. It was a motel that was a whole bunch of log cabins. In the movie Natural Born Killers, after Mickey and Mallory pick up the hostage, they're in the hotel room, the motel room, it's a cabin, neons everywhere. And this is the place where Mickey realizes that Mallory doesn't have her wedding ring on, and he says, even if that ring tears out every hair on your head, you never take it off.
Even if that ring pulls out every hair on your head, it stays on. If it tears out my eyeballs, it never comes off. Every great thing we do starts with these.
That motel used to stand here, but it's gone. Ouch. This wind is something else. But this is amazing. I officially love exploring New Mexico. Now we still have a ways to go. But you see that rock formation way over there to the right of your screen? That is the Ship Rock. And they filmed part of Natural Born Killers with that in the background. We're gonna try to line up shots as much as possible. Now, baby gold, this wind is crazy, right? I mean, we spent like, what, 2 weeks in Texas where it was like 100 degrees, and now it's like down to 70, and you were bundling up. Look at you.
The wind itself is cold. Normally when it's hot, the wind is hot, but the wind is very cold. It's nice.
Now, the road that we're on goes back a lot further. But rolling up to the Shiprock, there was a storm brewing. You can see it over there off to the left. And there was lightning. The lightning was pretty miraculous. Jessica couldn't take her eyes off of it. But in the movie Natural Born Killers, this is where Mickey escapes prison, well, like the prison camp, off into the tornado. I say this all the time, the finding the filming locations to Natural Born Killers is really freaking hard. And this is definitely one of them. From what I've read online, they built the prison scene, like where the prisoners are working and the guards are watching over them, and Mickey, he gets on the horseback and he rides off. From everything I read online, they built that near the airport, the Shiprock airstrip. Now, it's one of a few that are actually owned by the Navajo Nation, I think. And we still haven't found it. So we've been driving around looking for the airstrip to see if we can line up anything. But then we come across this. It's a service road that goes back to the Shiprock. Now, it just rained, and we don't have a 4x4 vehicle. We're driving a Prius, so I don't want to drive it back there because I have a feeling we're gonna get stuck. But just look at this. Kind of feels like you're in some other world, doesn't it? Wild. The service road that goes back to the Shiprock isn't even paved, so I have zero confidence that we're going to be able to get the Prius back there. Now, whenever we go on these long road trips, we're gone for an entire month, so we like to rent the Prius because of the gas mileage. We've been on the road for a month, and it's not even over yet, and we've already put close to 7,000 miles on this rental car, and we still have another week to go. But I feel like our best bet is to track down the airfield and try to line up shots that way. But this is still pretty amazing. We just spent the better part of an hour driving up and down these roads, trying to find the exact angle that they would have shot the prison escape scene from. We know that the Shiprock is over there. Like I said a little bit ago, from what I read online, all I could find out was they built the prison escape scene, like the prison yard, near the airport. Now, the airport, you can't really see it. It's really small. It's like an airstrip is right across this field, maybe, I don't know, 200 yards. And the Shiprock is right over this way. Now, I think, based on how they had the camera set up and everything, that you see right about the center of your screen how it looks like there's a small tan mountain. I think they built the set on the other side of that, facing the Shiprock. I think this is as close as we're gonna get to the actual shots from Natural Born Killers. Now, of course, that's the Shiprock. You can see that point right there, as well as that point in these scenes. To the left of your screen, you see that point on the mountain range? You can see that, as well as the mountain range on the right-hand side.
Baby, I've been waiting night and day. I didn't see the time. I waited.
Could be wrong, but I think I'm probably the only person on YouTube that is actively seeking out the filming locations to Natural Born Killers, trying to track them all down, even if they're not there anymore. I don't understand why nobody hasn't done this before. I mean, a few people have, but not to the obsessive extent that I've been doing.
Wherever I come, bad luck just comes my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. a bad luck's always